vibes from a client? We've all been in that situation. And once you sign up a client who is giving you bad vibes, the vibes are off, there is unfortunately not a lot you can do about it. So the point of this video is to help you recognize the warning signs, recognize the feeling in your gut, and stop you from saying yes in the first place. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Lucy Hitchcock. I am the founder of Sassy Digital and Partner in Wine. Partner in Wine aside, I want to talk to you today all about service-based businesses. I've been running my business, Sassy Digital, for nearly 9 years. And in that time, I have seen it all. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I have had some absolutely amazing clients. In fact, most of my clients have been amazing, but I have come across a fair few people that I would rather not work with again. So I thought today's video will have a little bit of fun. I want to delve deep into some of the problems that I've had, some of the red flags that I've seen, and how I've learned from them going forward. Okay, so my first tip is never, ever say yes for the money. I know it's hard working for yourself. There is always cash flow issues. Some months you'll earn more than others. Some months you might be bricking it a little bit because you're like, actually, I don't know where my paycheck is going to come from this month. However, if you start a conversation with a potential client for whatever reason that is, and you're not getting good vibes from them, no amount of money is going to be worth it. I have raised my prices when I've got bad vibes from people just to suck it up and make it worth my while. And let me tell you, it has always been more work. It has never been worth my while. And it has always cost me money and time in the long run. If you don't want to work with someone, you don't want to work with someone. If you're getting bad vibes from them, no amount of money is going to help you enjoy that process. Number 2, make sure you look out for red flags. Now, I have seen so many red flags over the years. I mean, where do I even start? There was the time that we did a branding project with a guy who works in the branding industry, and he mansplained me and told me that my branding process was wrong. He works in branding and they have clients that pay 100 to 150 grand to explore the branding process, and that I was not following that process. I was charging them below £1,000. So, of course, I'm not following the process that a big business follows. That is one of the benefits of working with a small business. You are working with a sole individual or a few individuals, and they are working with you to make sure that your branding is something you want. Of course, that process is going to look different. It's going to be a lot more personable. It is probably going to not be as in-depth, but there are definitely ways that you can get it in-depth. Look, I've never worked on a massive 150K branding project, so I don't know what they do differently, but the branding process that I outlined to this client was outlined from the start. And as we went through the process, it was very evident that actually I think perhaps he wanted to work with a man on it and not a woman. And then in turn, that led us to terminating the agreement early because we just could not see eye to eye. So mansplaining is definitely a red flag for me. Or even job-splaining, someone telling you how to do your job, even though they've employed you to do that job because they know that you're going to be better at it than them. That is why you employ someone to do something for you, right? Then, of course, there's the refusing to sign terms and conditions. I worked with a client a couple of years ago who preferred to, do business on a handshake agreement. Now, we all know how the founder ends. McDonald's, yeah. Won't be doing that again. This project actually took a hell of a lot more time than I thought it was going to. And this is one of the projects where I upped my price because I wasn't getting good vibes. And part of the reason for that was because he refused to sign the terms and conditions, but I went ahead anyway. The project actually fell apart at the seams for various different reasons, most technical reasons. It also probably wasn't a project that I should have taken on the format that it was in. So we actually ended up basically redoing the website twice because the first iteration of it just did not function and should not have been built on the platform that it was built on, but for various different reasons we had to build it on there in the first place. And your terms and conditions are not there just to protect you and for you to... Terms and conditions are not just there to protect you from not being paid as a service-based business or a freelancer. The terms and conditions are there to outline to everyone what is expected of them within that project. That goes for you and that goes for your client. It protects both of you, and it sets out an agreement that everyone understands at the beginning of what the process is like, what is expected from the client, when they need to pay by, what the different stages of your project are. Now, terms and conditions can feel a little bit legally and they can feel a little bit corporate, but it's so important as a small business that you have those signed. And along with that, I would argue that having a 50% deposit, which leads me on nicely to my next point. Clients asking you to reduce your fees, whether or not A, you have agreed with them a price, or B, you have quoted them. Someone who tries to renegotiate your fees does not respect the work that you do. And if you're starting out, yes, okay, your fees may be lower than other people. That's how I started my marketing business. My fees were lower from the beginning, especially when I was trying to build up my portfolio of websites, of branding design. And once I gained that experience and I had a lot more under my belt, I then increased my prices. I increased them in line with experience, and I increased them in line with what other people in the industry charge. What is the going rate, and where do you sit on that spectrum of experience? And that is how you can price your products as a service-based business. Now, if someone asks to reduce your fees, then they don't necessarily respect the work that you do. And I have actually not really experienced anyone asking me to reduce my fees, but one thing I have experienced is people asking me to reduce the deposit invoice amount. Now, I charge 50% upfront, and the reason for this is because I've been stung in the past with people A, not paying on time, or B, getting basically to the end of a project and then someone being like, oh, actually, I'm not feeling it anymore. And that was actually the mansplaining project that I was talking about. And then I'm left out of pocket. I work with freelance graphic designers. I work with freelance web developers when I'm not doing the work physically myself. So I still have to pay those people regardless of if the client pays me. I have an agreement with them that they will be paid for their work. And so if someone doesn't pay me, then my business is left out of pocket. And that is just not very good business. And that is just not very good business acumen, I don't think. And lastly, how do you stop yourself from making the same mistakes twice? Now, we all know the feeling in our gut. We know when we shouldn't work with someone. We know when we're getting bad vibes, yet we constantly question, am I getting bad vibes from this person? If you need to ask yourself that question, the vibes are off. Don't do it. Do not sign on the dotted line. Do not even get to contracting stage. Just kindly and politely say to them, I don't think I'm the best fit for this project. Sorry. That's all you need to say. You don't have to work with people. People should want to work with you. You do not need to say yes to everything that comes your way. And actually, a very nice quote that I think sums this up is, just because the phone rings doesn't mean you need to answer it. And I think that's so true when deciding whether or not to take a project or take on a new client. One really key marker for me when I decide whether or not to take on a project is whether someone is coming to me for my specific expertise, where they have found me. Do they know my work? Do they respect my work? Do they respect my opinion? If I have a random person come out of the blue, a total cold lead, and they're not related to a contact of mine, they're not related to anyone that I know, they haven't seen my work, chances are I will not take this client on. And that is because I do think that if someone doesn't know you, they are way less likely to respect your work. And I know this is really hard, especially if you're just starting out in the service industry, because you do need to get clients. So I think from the start, if you can try and build that up through friends and family, through connections, try and get your name out there, spread the word far and wide about what it is that you do, and then you can get people to sign up that way. At least they will know a little bit more about you, rather than someone totally cold coming to you and potentially not knowing anything about you at all. I do think that makes for a far better working relationship, and I think it will make you feel better too. So let me know, have you ever had any red flags? Have I missed any? Comment them below this video. And I hope this video is going to help some of you not make the same mistake twice like I have. I know we're all going to do it, but if I can help some of you at all, but if this video helps even one person from an awful client, from someone you're getting bad vibes from as a client, then my job here is done. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if there's any other bits of advice you'd like to hear from me, make sure you send me a DM on Instagram. It's @LucyHitchcock_. And tune in next Sunday at 6 p.m. where I'll be posting another video all about how to grow your business in different areas.